Hi again, everyone. It's Rachel here. And I just wanted to invite my educational development friends, those of us who work in faculty development, to take a pause. We're all ready to very quickly jump to action and look for ways to support the various faculty members in our institutions. But as I woke up this morning, I realized not everyone's like me. Not everyone's excited and is constantly working on ways to integrate technology into their teaching. So, as faculty members, or as I'm sorry, as educational developers, it's up to us to be able to address all different types of faculty members, our actors in these various scenarios. In terms of the educator experience, we're going to look at four different personas. And this work stems from my work on teaching personas and the fact of how do we showcase who we are as teachers, our teaching philosophy, our beliefs about teaching, our beliefs about our fields of study. How do we transition that from an online, from a face-to-face environment to an online context? So we're going to look at the first person. I'm lost. I don't use a learning management system. Believe it or not, there are faculty members, plenty, all over the world who don't use a learning management system. For these individuals, the role of the educational developer is to help them with the basics. These faculty members are really in crisis mode because they don't know either what tools exist or how to use those tools. So the first thing is, what are the essentials? What do these individuals need to do? They need to create their space online, and whether that's through IT or whether they can do it themselves, if it's Moodle, Blackboard, Canvas, any one of these learning management systems, what are the essentials? What do they need to know how to do? Then we look at what resources already exist. As educational developers, we don't have to recreate everything, but maybe our role is to curate the great resources that exist from Moodle or from Blackboard. Also, there is unlimited amounts of content on YouTube, just like this video. But we want to make sure that what we're sending to our faculty members or what we're having them use as a resource is clear, concise, comprehensible. And in line with that, what type of supports do these individuals need? These are the faculty members that really need us, and they really need the IT staff. But more importantly, we need to be accessible to them in ways that they can really handle. So whether it's accommodating them by telephone, whether it's accommodating them by email or by messenger, or using some type of live application such as Slack. One of the other things that's very easy to use, although not everyone has a Gmail account, is Google Hangout. So they can see and they can hear you. And that is something that's very important to these I'm lost, this is all new to me. The second type of faculty member is I use the LMS, the learning management system, to share content. So this is the individual who at the beginning of the semester uploads all their content, the syllabus, the course chronology, PowerPoint slides, PDFs of readings, and the students essentially can go online and they can download all this content, print it out, and then follow the course face to face. So this individual sees the platform of just a way to communicate information instead of a channel like email. What do we need to do for these individuals? We need to, as educational developers, we need to encourage them to think about interactivity and the LMS as a platform to encourage activity for our students. And this can be something quite simple like a discussion board or a forum. It could be a quiz. It can be a poll or a survey. It can be adding any type of element that asks them to react and to think about and to give us back some information. So to make these learners more active instead of passive. What resources are needed? This question goes hand in hand with what support is needed. What type of documents do we have, or what screencasts can we create to show faculty exactly what we're talking about? And this also goes back to what's already available. I would say, as an educational developer, we know these tools and we know these resources fairly well. So making a quick screencast and publishing that to a public space where our faculty members can access it is something that's pretty easy. And then we will also want to address those who maybe want a document that illustrates step one, step two, step three. These individuals might need real-time support, but more than likely they can probably take another form of support that's pre-made or pre-recorded, and they can move along with it. The third type of persona, moving online, no problem for me. I use interactive features in the learning management system. So for these individuals, the focus becomes on what can I improve, and do I really need a lot of support, or is my support self-directed? So these individuals you want to encourage to look at what they are already doing and find ways that they might be able to make it better. And to do this in a way where they're not relying on IT or faculty development support. So their support is more self-directed. They're going to see, I've done this, this, and this, and it could be someone who is, for instance, working in a flipped classroom situation or using a flipped classroom approach. But these individuals probably are the ones who don't need so much support because they're already functioning, they're already providing their students with some type of online features and content and interaction. Last, the educational developer's best friend. Those who have experience teaching online or in blended formats. And these individuals, we need to give them the time and space to transition their face-to-face courses, but we also want to get them to act as our partners. We want them to be able to jump up and say, how can I help? How can I showcase what I am currently doing in order to help my colleagues? And these individuals can also be a great asset in helping to ensure that things are working and that there is a quality assurance process in place for our teachers and learners. So before I end this video, I just want to remind you of a few types of interactions in online teaching and learning. The first interaction is the learner and the content. So how do our learners interact with content? Here, I really encourage people to focus on offering different modes. While it might be good enough for the I'm lost faculty member to simply upload PowerPoint slides are just a presentation support. There's more that goes to that. So we want to encourage different modes of audio and video along with written forms of communication. The way the learners interact with content, we need to make it user-friendly for them. Interactions with the learner and instructor. One quick thing to do, we can all answer emails, we can all write, but I really would encourage you to consider having virtual office hours at this point in time. It can be 1 hour a day, or it can be a 3-hour period on a certain day of the week where students can go online, they could see you, they could hear you, you can see them and you can hear them, and you can make sure that any problems or questions are addressed. Written communication is always going to stay, and for the learner, sometimes it needs to be immediate. They don't want to wait, so they'd rather send you an email. But I think it's also important for you to establish, okay, we're in this type of a crisis situation where we didn't imagine moving online. So what are some rules around these types of interactions that we're going to have together? The third type of interaction is learner-learner. And this is super important because in the classroom we can have breakout groups, we could have activities such as think, pair, and share. Our students can see one another, they can speak to one another. What I would say in terms of this type of interaction is if you're someone who is lost and who is really unfamiliar with the online context, or if you're working with faculty members who are in that situation, now is probably not the time to focus on this area. Instead, provide some type of space, and it could be a discussion board or a forum area where your learners can connect with one another and ask each other questions in case for some reason you're not available. Lastly, the learner technology interaction. We all have to remember that we're learning how to deal with this situation, and our students who weren't anticipating to have to learn online now also have to deal with the different technology. So you want to make sure that the directions, the instructions that they have are clear, and we want to make sure that there is sufficient support on this end, on our end, for them to learn how to use a tool or what happens if they can't access or they need help. It's not only up to the faculty members, it's up to the institution as a whole. So what I would say, summarize with, is that with these four basic interactions in online teaching and learning, all of these different personas can attempt to work with all these different types of interactions. But how much and how many interactions is clearly going to be dictated based on where the faculty member is in terms of their own learning and experience with online teaching and learning. So, a quick video. Back to work. I was off helping a faculty member today, and I am looking forward to a crazy busy week with lots of educational technology, lots of working with different types of faculty members, and I wish you all the best in your adventures to come.